Hi, this is Jeff McManus, and welcome to Working Smarter, Not Harder. What gives me the greatest return? I'm glad you are here with us, and I wanted to share with you some of this PowerPoint. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm super excited about the content. So, glad you're here. Working smarter, not harder. Who's it for? Well, it's for leaders, extremely busy leaders who need to get a lot done, leaders, obviously, who lead other people. Could be even entrepreneur leaders who have contractors or working with a network of team of people, leaders who want their people to be successful. So you may have a group of people, crews and divisions that work with you. This will hopefully help you and help you to work smarter, not harder, get more done. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I really like that quote because we have the choice. It's our choice on how to do this. And so hopefully we're going to get some answers for you and help you ride through some of the challenging parts of your workday to make it better. So ultimately, who is responsible, right? Who's responsible for my day? And sometimes we think we are, and sometimes we think our customers are, and sometimes we think our employees are. And truth of it is we are responsible, right? As the leaders, we need the results every single day. We need those results all the time. So we've got to be responsible for thinking through this, how we're going to be successful, how we're going to set this up. So I hope you'll stay with me in this journey. The first rule of leadership: everything is your fault, right? Everything comes back to you. If you're a leader and you are have been doing it for any amount of time, you know that that can sometimes be the truth. And the other one is no good deed goes unpunished. And so we don't want that mindset. We don't want that mindset that, everything's our fault, because that tends to put us in a victim mindset. Laziness may appear attractive, but work gives us satisfaction. And so, Anne Frank, uh, you that are watching this are highly driven. You may run against sometimes against the current because the folks around you may sometimes feel like this person in the tree laying there, and that sometimes can be challenging. Sometimes people even think, hey, I'm going to work smarter, not harder, by not doing anything. And that is not what we're talking about today. We're actually talking about getting the results we need. We're not talking about how to skip out of work. And of course, the tension comes with our deadlines, right? Our demands and the difficulties of the job. There is high expectations for you as the leader, that you have the quality, the customer service, the time frame, and then you're left to figure it out. You're left to come up with the solutions. You're left to figure out the training, whatever it may be. That's on you. That comes back to you as the leader. That's probably why you're in the position you are, because you're a problem solver. So that tension also is, it is faster if I do it myself. This is a trap, a great trap for leaders to fall into, because we can do it. We know we can. Matter of fact, I can just do it quicker and get it done. But the problem is, it doesn't allow us to scale, doesn't allow us to grow. And we actually become the bottleneck to the organization. We begin to slow things down, because once we fall into this trap, it can become a repetition of bad habits, right? So we want to make sure we're not doing that as well. And then, I can teach my employees, right? Um, but then they go back to their old ways, right? They go back and they don't do it the right way. And I'm telling you, this was one that I banged my head on for years, doing amazing training. I would think I'm just, man, I'm just teaching, I'm just sharing, I'm pouring it out, I'm giving it my all, right? And then only to find out that several months later we had reverted back to the old ways. And it was very frustrating, right? It's one of those manager moments, those leader moments, when you want to bang your head against the wall, or you want to yell at somebody and like, this is not what we talked about. That changed for me when I started doing our training academy, our training university. And when we did that, there was a couple of things that happened. One, we just created this training program that allowed our staff to participate in it. They participate in the development, they participate in the teaching, but not only that, they get rewarded and they get a little certification. And so there's that accountability on the way we do things. That really helped me tremendously. But again, it took a little time to do that, but that was something that allowed me to work smarter, not harder. We're not even going to go into that today, so that was a little freebie. I have, here's another trap. The tension is I have plenty of time. I can do that later. I can come in, I can stay a little later. I can do it on Saturday. I can do it on Sunday, and that takes away from our own time. There's I can just work longer and harder. If you don't like how things are, change it, right? You're not a tree. I love that. We're not a tree. We're not set there. We're not. We can change. We don't have to stay the same. I'm so glad you're watching this video because it tells me something about you as one that you're growing. You're looking for ways to get better. And so in your organization, you may be frustrated because those around you aren't doing what you're doing. And so the challenge becomes as a leader is how can we get everybody growing? How can we get all of our team where we're looking at personal growth, that we can change, that we can do it better? So this is a big challenge that we run into. Also, King Solomon, like this. King Solomon says, if the axe is dull, it's the edge, and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed. Think about that. When that axe is dull, not a lot of us are swinging axes anymore, but we can imagine it. I know growing up, I did a lot more with an axe and a hatchet. And when it's dull, it takes a lot of effort to cut the tree. You have to hit it more often. You have to hit it harder, and you get tired. But skill will bring success. And in this case, the skill is sharpening the saw. So how can we sharpen those around us? How can we help them? So I'm going to share with you today just 3 little nuggets. They're actually kind of big nuggets, really. Big nuggets that are, if you do them, I guarantee you it will change the way your success is being looked at. It'll just take you to a whole new level. 3 keys to working smarter, not harder. I'm so excited to share these with you. These are good. Okay. Know what you want. So simple. Know what you want. What is the results that you need? Is it high-end customer service? Got a situation where we're working with airport and we need highly engaged staff members. And so that's one of the results. Have another situation where, back when I first started in a landscaping there on campus at Ole Miss, took us 10 days to mow the campus. 10 days. And nobody was doing anything but mowing. That was it. But I needed people to be able to treat insects. I needed people to trim bushes. I needed people to work on irrigation. I needed people to do a lot of different things. But the only thing we were doing was cutting grass, and it was taking us 10 days. What I wanted was more time, right? I needed more time. I had to figure out either how to get more people or more time. Well, I'll tell you this, I didn't get more people. I'm going to tell you in a minute how I got more time. Here's one of the ones that is hard for us as leaders. I know you're driven. I know that you get a lot done every day, but possibly you may not be sitting like this guy sitting and just staring, but when you're driving down the road, can you rethink how you do it? Can you rethink if you just were to start over and didn't have the limitations? Here's another one in this is after you rethink it, can you allow those around you to rethink it with you? I mean, set up the whiteboard, go somewhere where you can talk and think and rethink the processes, rethink how the people are being used, rethink how it's being packaged. You know, one of the things in getting more people or better efficiencies to get our mowing better. I mean, it was taking 10 days and we weren't doing anything else. Had to rethink how we were doing it. Rethink it. And the thing is I would be driving on a golf cart, riding around, looking, thinking, how can we make this less time, less time, less time? And I would involve some of our key leaders and start talking about, and I'd pitch out ideas to them and things that we would see as a leader. We're supposed to frame it up. I needed buy-in though. I needed buy-in. So one of the things I tried to do is get some people to participate with me in thinking through it. So rethink it. All right. Now here's the third one. Being proactive versus reactive. Right. And if you and I were sitting across from each other, I would have you right now give me the definition, your definition of being proactive. What does being proactive mean to you? And so that's very important, right? It's proactive is not waiting. It's not waiting until there's a problem. It's not waiting until someone tells you. It's going ahead and doing it in advance, getting started. Reactive is once it's happened, right? Then we respond to it. There's going to be times when we always react to things, but we need to, as leaders, we know this, is to stay proactive, but then to get the mindset of our team to be proactive as well. So it could be that, you know, nobody in my organization, none of my bosses ever said, hey, Jeff, you need to go from 10 days down to 5 days in mowing. I just knew we weren't getting things done. The quality of our work was not there. And I knew I wasn't going to get more money, more people. So I had to figure out how to be proactive where we could get the mowing time less. How do we get the mowing time less? With the same people, the same number of people, and as the campus is growing, be ready to take on even more. So that was a huge challenge, right? So here's three practical steps. Delegate, right? Of course, as bosses, we like to delegate our problems, right? Give them to somebody else. But really, what we need to be doing is developing people to delegate to. We want them to be super, super successful, right? We want our people to be successful. We want them to get credit for that. We need to hire people smarter than you, right? Smarter than me. And honestly, it's not real hard for me to do that, right? But here I was talking to a counterpart at another university, and he was they were interviewing a candidate. He told me, he says, I had my committee at the university. We have to have a hiring committee. And I had some of my staff who do landscaping on the committee. And he says, we interviewed this candidate that was amazing, just amazing, had a lot of experience, very good, but you could tell in the interview, this person knew a lot. And he says the people on the committee didn't want to hire him because they were intimidated by them. He knew more than them, right? That's a red flag right there. I one time had a person on our hiring committee who was like, do we want leaders or do we want followers? And I appreciated the comment, but I want leaders, right? Great leaders are great followers, people who are proactive, people who fix things, problem solvers. Last one, hard to do, slow down to speed up, right? Thinking through that process, talking about it, spending a little bit of time on it. Why? It will allow you to speed up. One of the things that has allowed us to speed up in so many areas is to slow down once a month and have a leader to leader meeting. We call it leader to leader because we want everybody to come in and feel as they are a leader. So we bring our team in for 60 minutes in small groups. So do it about 3-4 different times with so we can get everybody in. We slow down and have the conversations. We slow down and do some personal growth. We have great interaction. We think, we talk, we get on the same page. It slows us down. It slows us down. But here's the biggest thing. It speeds us up. It speeds us up because the harmony on the team goes up. The trust on the team goes up. The efficiency goes up. All because we slow down. And that takes a little while. It takes consistency too. So here's your action step. Here's your one takeaway today. Hopefully you've gotten a lot of takeaways today. I filled you up with a lot of good nuggets as we just scratched the surface today. Who is the one person you need to talk to after this webinar to work on one challenge you have? Who's one person? Who's one thing that you challenge that you have? Maybe it's something in the real estate world. Maybe it's something in the restaurant world. Maybe it's in a government, a problem with another department or the way things are flowing. Who's that one person that you can meet with to start figuring out how to work smarter and not harder? Is there some paperwork to eliminate? That's your homework. That's your action step. See, if you rest too long, the weeds take the garden. Oh, Jim Rohn knows, and you know. You have plants at the house or around the unit. If you don't do anything, if you rest, eventually the bad things take over. Nature will recapture. Weeds will take the garden. So if we think, hey, I've been doing this for a long time, we're doing pretty good. Be careful. There's some weeds of complacency growing there. Be careful. There's some weeds of false success growing there. Continually evaluate the results that you need, doing surveys, asking your team, asking your customer. Make sure you don't rest too long. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining us today. We try to keep it short for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. If I can help you at your next keynote speaker, at your association, at your company, I'd love for you to reach out to me at jeffmcmanus.com. And I look forward to seeing you one day, person to person, face to face, in the coming future. Thanks for being here.